One of the fun things about people knowing that you're moving, as in this case of this show, we're moving to New York in June sometime, is that people now assume that because we're going to make that move, we'll be hiring all kinds of additional people. And I cannot tell you how many telephone calls I personally have received at home over the past 48 hours from very well-intentioned people who feel that because this move is coming up, the staff of this show will be expanded tenfold and that we are in a rush to hire people. Now, most resumes that I get, I will confess to you, go into the circular file very, very rapidly. But one came in today from a fellow named Walter J. Nelson, Jr., who lives in Rowland Heights, California. I don't know where is Rowland Heights, California? I mean, do you believe it that we work in this state and we don't know where Rowland Heights, California is? Well, we'll just sit here until we find out. 91728. And he is looking for work in New York City. And he says, I would like to get a foot in your door. And he sends this in here. Now, is that clever? Huh? Isn't that clever? And he says, I hope you get a kick out of this. Get out of here, Walter. For heaven's sake. There are no jobs available. In fact, some are going to be done away with. I want to talk for a second here tonight about what's going to happen here next week. Most of you know that the Michelle Triola Lee Marvin case is now before the judge downtown here in Los Angeles. And he is considering the various arguments presented by either side. And it is the feeling of most people concerned with this case that by sometime next week there will be a resolution one way or the other. When that happens, Michelle Triola Marvin is not going to do any talk shows, but she is going to come here, I'm told, because she watches this show from time to time, and also because we have had her attorney, Marvin Mitchelson, on the air here, I think, on 2 occasions, and he has been fairly presented by yours truly in the estimation of Miss Marvin. So she will be here at some point next week. If the trial concludes or if the judge makes his decision on what has taken place in the trial by Wednesday afternoon Pacific time, would that be fair, that she will be here next Wednesday night? Then if it's later on Wednesday night, she would be here Thursday night. Or if it's sometime during the day, Thursday of next week, she would be here on Thursday night. So although this is not listed in the paper because the arrangement with Miss Marvin is we will wait until a decision is in, and therefore we cannot have listings in papers around the country, please know that there's a great deal of interest in what she has to say, and she will be here at some point next week if that decision is made by the judge in downtown Los Angeles. And I'm happy that she's coming here because it's a sensational story, let's face it. It is going to be a precedent-setting, thank you, decision. I do find till I get to the last 2 words, you know, and then I lose it. I can't understand it. You know, folks, last month in Esquire magazine, an article caught my eye. It was written by William Flanagan. It was called Faking Your Way to the Top. I can't imagine why it caught my eye. It dealt with the growing phenomenon of people misrepresenting or outright inventing academic credentials in order to get ahead in their careers. Now, Mr. Flanagan is a well-known financial columnist for Esquire magazine, and he is with us tonight to talk about the article and how he found people who faked their way to good jobs by overstating, and that's putting it mildly, overstating their academic qualifications. Now, with us is one of the people who got caught up in this because I don't know if Bob Harris faked academic credentials or if he simply left certain things out in his resume, but you've read about this man. He's been on the Today Show and other programs. He lost his job as one of New York's most respected weathercasters when it came out that he had faked the PhD degree that had helped him advance his career. In one afternoon, Dr. Bob Harris went from doing 33 daily broadcasts for CBS and from being staff meteorologist with the New York Times and the Long Island Railroad. In one afternoon, he went from all those jobs to being unemployed. And he has kindly consented to be with us tonight to tell his story for those of you who have not heard it in completion. I'm happy to say that since all of this went down, he is back to work with the New York Times, he is back to work with the Long Island Railroad, and he has found radio employment at WNEW, the Metro Media station in New York. Is this Metro Media Week on our show? I mean, we had Jonathan Schwartz here from WNEW the other night, and tonight we have Bob Harris from that radio station in New York to talk about how his career almost went down the tubes because of academic misrepresentation. A little bit later on tonight, and not too much later on, I'm happy to say, we have with us Eleanor Perry who is known to all of you for a number of things, including her 1962 screenplay, David and Lisa, which won an Oscar nomination. She has received Emmy Awards for 2 outstanding dramatic Christmas specials. Her other screen credits include one of my favorite pictures, Diary of a Mad Housewife. Also, she has done The Swimmer and The Man Who Loved Cat Dancing, and she now has her first novel on the stands. It is called Blue Pages, and it goes behind the Oscars and the Emmys and the glamour of it all to tell the trials and tribulations of a woman writer who works in showbiz here in Southern California. I'm really happy that she's here tonight, and she will lend some credence to the events that have been going on this week vis-a-vis the Oscar celebrations. So that's our show for Thursday night. We'll be right back now with Bob Harris and Mr. Bill Flanagan after these words from our sponsors.